So you want a Guardian build with which you can solo any content in the game. And look further. This build has permanent alacrity and a lot of boons, a lot of damage, and a huge amount of sustain. I'm Sima, and without much further ado, let's jump right in. So this Guardian build is a Celestial build. So you run full Celestial on every weapon, every trinket, every armor. You want to run Rule of the Trapper for maximum condition damage. And you want to run Malign infusions, so the condition damage infusions. If you don't have them, it doesn't matter that much, but you mostly deal condition damage, that's why you want to have this. And then you want to run Relic of the Defender, that's your really strong sustain. So every time you get a block out of any attack you have, you heal for 5% of the maximum HP. This is reduced if you block too often in a short time frame, but it's still very strong. So this heals you really often, really easily without thinking about it. For weapons, you want to use Pistol, Torch as your main hand, and you want Smoldering and Frailty on this weapon set. And on your offhand, I take actually Axe and Pistol, because I feel like this build sometimes lacks some CC, and the other offhand can deliver that. You don't really need the Axe, you can also run just the Pistol if you feel like it, but I feel more CC is always nice. The same sigils, and that's it for the gear. Regarding food, I would recommend to run the Celestial food with minus 10% incoming damage, because it gives you the most sustained and the most stats overall. And as utility consumable, I would run Tuning Icicles or the equivalent, because you are mostly dealing condition damage, even though you're Celestial. For your traits, you want to run Radiance, Virtues, and Willbender. Then in this, you can select everything and what you want. I think they are all good to some extent. If you face heavy condition pressure, I would always go for this, just to upkeep more resolution. But this is the most straightforward one. You just get precision and power permanently actually on this build. It's nice, but I feel like permanent fury is also very good, and that's why I took this. So you are a little bit more crit capped, so to say. Both, all three actually options are fine. Then you get reset on your F1 when you kill something, that's really strong. And some more ferocity. And say crit chance against Burning Force, which you have permanently. And then you get some buff to your Torch 4. And that's really strong, and burning is also really important that it's increased. So this trait is really overloaded, so it gives you a lot of damage. And then you have more burning damage again, and your passive effect is stronger of the F1. So that's a damage trait line in Radiance. And Virtues, you want to get some boons from your Virtues, really nice. Some resolution from your boons, that's really nice. So this trait overcaps by a lot, but a lot of boons are removed nowadays from you. For example, some Janthir's enemies corrupt a lot of boons and deal a lot of condition damage, so I feel like this can still be a viable option, but for the most part that's enough for resolution. And then you get more vitality, condition damage based on your vitality, and some recharge reduction, which is really nice for your Virtues. Then your F2, which you have 2 actually of, removes conditions and heals you more, which is really strong. Don't underestimate this. And then you get more passive rocks that are stronger and also trigger AoE, so you have really strong AoE clear. And in Willbender, you alter your, let's say, Virtues, that they are movement skills. Then you get some more condition damage and more burning application on your F2 actually. And then some swiftness, not that bad. Then when you trigger your virtue effects, you get might really strong, because therefore you can get a lot of might stacks, because you have some boon duration from Celestial, and some fury when you activate Rushing Justice, which is this. So really strong. And then each time you trigger, let's say your virtue, you get a stack, and this stack increases your damage and condition damage, so it's really strong, and it overrides each other, so you can stack it permanently to 5 actually. And then, of course, Phoenix Protocol, so you get access to alacrity, and you just spam your F2 when you need it, and then you get a lot of alacrity from just spamming your F2. I feel like this is also an overkill in most circumstances, because you have this, but if you, like I said, get boon removed, this can help you upkeep Fury, because Fury is such a strong offensive boon. If you feel like you don't need this in more Fury time, this is enough. This is the most straightforward choice. So let's say we are not in Janthir Wilds, we take this one. By the way, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And now to the skills. So for the healing skill, you always take Litany of Wrath. It's so strong, it just converts 33% of your damage in healing for the next 6 seconds, really strong. And also Feel My Wrath, always really strong, you should take it. Gives you some quickness, some fury, super speed, really strong. So with this build you get some access to quickness as well. Then I would always take Sword of Justice, gives some vulnerability and some nice damage. Really good. And hits quite often. And then you took, most of the time I would say, Bow of Truth, because you get some nice healing from it. And then of course you would always take Purging Flames, because it removes conditions from you and deals some heavy burning damage. So if you need something else, I would always swap out Bow of Truth first, because it's such a, let's say you have so many choices here. For example, if you need a stun break or something, you can always go for Contemplation of Purity, for example, or Stand Your Ground for stability. This is also heavy Condi cleanse, so if you need it, really strong. If you need more CC, you can always go for Sanctuary. With the trait, it pulses 7 times, and every pulse knockback is CC on a defiant foe. Works only if they have a Defiance bar, of course. If they are normal mobs, they will just walk into it and be knocked back, so that's only for defiant foes, but it's really strong CC. So these are the most, let's say, strong options in most cases. If you need a Reflect, or of course you can always take Wall of Reflection or Deflect, then you can Shield of Avenger as well. But this is the general setup, I would say. For your weapon skills, you just spam them. Mostly you stay on your pistol torch set, because that's the strong one. And you should always try to let this run some time before it runs out, and then cast it again, so that you get value of both flip over skills. Always try to use the 3 skill before you use any multi-hits like the 2 or the 5, or even the sword, to get more procs out of your burning application from the symbol. And you have quite some range pressure with this, but most of the time you want to run in with your Justice and then deal a lot of attacks, so all apply burning. If it runs out, you go to the next one, get some alacrity here, also some nice healing if you hit in. And if it runs out, you go to the next. So you always want to keep up your buff from the Willbender Flames. And if you need some stability and really strong healing, actually, those two heal really good, because this, if you hit, you get healed. And this one applies Aegis, which is really strong, which will then proc your, how's it called? Your Defender Relic. So it will also heal you. So you have a lot of mobility, but you also have a lot of healing from your Willbender Flames. So always keep them on cooldown, always try to cast the F2 if you need Condi cleanses, but most of the time you use it for healing and alacrity. And your X is just some Fury application, some pull, some nice CC, and here's also some CC on this skill. But for the most part, I would say you stay on this weapon set and swap only if you need CC. So that's it so far for the build. You can see in the background some nice footage of me killing really easily mobs with this. I would say if you need more boon removal, because that build lacks boon removal, you should swap the Smoldering Sigil on the X for Absorption to get some capability of boon removal on your CC. But if you don't need it, I would stick to the setup. And that's it so far for the build. I hope you have as much fun with this build as I do. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching.